In the dusty graveyard of a ruined world, a lone Jedi lived among shadows. Shadows not of the dead, but of what once was. They sat before him, motionless yet eternal. Jedi Masters made of scrap, twisted steel, and memory. He called them his council. But what could drive a Jedi, once noble and brilliant, to build a temple of madness? What could twist a mind trained in the light so completely that it would fabricate a world from rust and ghosts? And could the secrets of his shattered psyche hold the key to understanding the trauma of Jedi survivors and the Empire's desperate attempts to silence them? Today, we dive deep into the haunting tale of Kazdan Paratus, the mad Jedi engineer of the Clone Wars, the hermit of Raxus Prime, and the architect of a mechanical delusion that Vader himself sought to destroy. Kazdan Paratus was never like the others. Born on the metal-rich, pollution-choked world of Rustus, Paratus grew up amid junk heaps and technological refuse. Places where others saw garbage, he saw potential. His innate connection to the Force manifested early, but what made him truly remarkable was how he fused that connection with engineering. As a member of the Force-sensitive Alina species, short, lizard-like beings known for agility and energy, Paratus already stood apart from the typical Jedi. But it was his genius-level intellect that caught the attention of the Jedi Council. He wasn't just a Jedi Knight. He was a tech savant, a prodigy who could manipulate machines with his mind, using the Force to engineer complex devices no other Jedi could imagine. He constructed sophisticated droids, automated defense systems, and Force-imbued mechanisms, not for war, but for order. The Temple Archives even note that he once crafted a security system for the Jedi Archives that was too advanced for the Council to fully understand. But even as a Knight of Peace, one question haunted Paratus throughout his service. What happens when the galaxy no longer wants to be saved? That question would become prophecy. When the Clone Wars erupted, Kazdan Paratus answered the call like so many Jedi. But unlike those on the front lines with clone troopers, Paratus' talents were deployed in a different way. He worked from behind the scenes, building automated battalions, repairing starfighters, and protecting critical supply lines. His machines fought where flesh could not, but it didn't save him from betrayal. When Order 66 was executed, Paratus was stationed on a Republic outpost in the Outer Rim. His own clone unit, who had worked with him for years, turned on him, but they underestimated just how deeply he'd prepared the site's defences. His machines fought back. What followed was chaos, a battle between man and metal, between loyalty and betrayal. When the smoke cleared, Paratus was the last one standing, surrounded by wreckage both outside and within. The Jedi Order he had sworn to uphold was gone. The only friends he ever had, his fellow Jedi, were dead or hunted. Paratus fled into exile, but something broke during that escape. His mind, brilliant, intricate, and already leaning into obsessive solitude, began to fracture, and from those cracks emerged something terrifying. On the junk-covered world of Raxus Prime, Paratus found the perfect sanctuary, a graveyard of metal, mountains of scrap, rivers of rust. To anyone else, it was a wasteland, but to him, it was home. Using his Force talents and engineering brilliance, Paratus spent years constructing a massive hidden fortress, a mechanical temple filled with deadly droid guardians and riddled with labyrinthine traps. But what truly defied belief was what he built at its centre, a perfect replica of the Jedi Council chamber, constructed entirely out of debris and rusted metal, and seated within it 12 droid replicas of the Jedi Masters, Master Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, all recreated in precise, haunting detail. But they weren't merely statues. They spoke to him. They guided him. Or so he believed. This was the droid Jedi Council. To Kazdan Paratus, it was as real as the one he'd lost. He spoke to them, argued with them, pleaded for their advice. They became his world, a world shaped by delusion, trauma, and unbearable grief. But why build a council and not an army? Because for Paratus, the Jedi Council wasn't just a governing body. It was family. It was purpose. And he had lost it all. His mind, once built for machines, had done what machines could never do: reconstruct the past from lies. Years later, the Sith sought him out, not out of mercy, but necessity. Darth Vader, hunting Force-sensitive survivors, ordered his secret apprentice, Starkiller, to assassinate Paratus as part of a trial to prove his strength. Why? Because Kazdan Paratus posed a threat. Not just because he was powerful, but because he had hidden himself so well, defended by ancient machines, protected by paranoia, and shrouded in madness. But worse, he had begun drawing the Force around him once more, possibly even calling out to others. And if he could rebuild the Jedi Order, even in his broken image, what else might survive? When Starkiller arrived on Raxus Prime, he was met by a mechanical army like no other. Rusted walkers, flying droids with lightsabers, recycled war machines possessed by Force-driven precision. But at the heart of it all stood Paratus, cloaked, snarling, leaping with inhuman agility. Their battle was ferocious. Paratus hurled junk with the Force, manipulated gravity fields, and wielded twin lightsabers with unrelenting speed. Yet in the end, Starkiller overwhelmed him. And as Kazdan Paratus fell, his final words pierced the rusted silence. "You'll never destroy the Jedi." He believed it, even as the temple crumbled, even as the droids lay broken. Kazdan Paratus died believing his council still lived, somewhere beyond metal and time. Kazdan Paratus' story was hidden for years, buried by the Empire, erased from official records, but his existence speaks volumes about what the Jedi survivors endured. He didn't fall to the dark side. He didn't become a warlord. He didn't seek revenge. He simply tried to rebuild what he had lost, through genius, madness, and grief. He is one of the only known Jedi survivors to fully lose touch with reality, not from lust for power, but from the trauma of being completely and violently alone. But it leaves us with a final question. In a galaxy where hope was outlawed, could madness be the only way to hold on to it? And if so, how many other Jedi did the same, in their own way, beyond the Empire's reach? Kazdan Paratus was forgotten, not because he had failed, but because he had survived too well. He built what the Empire feared most, a Jedi sanctuary born not of war, but of memory. His tale reminds us that survival isn't always heroic. Sometimes it's haunting, sometimes it's lonely, and sometimes it's the only choice left. But what do you think? How big a threat could Paratus have become if other surviving Jedi had flocked to his new council chambers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, like, subscribe, and join us next week for another deep dive into the archives. If you are enjoying the videos, become a member and let's uncover the galaxy's biggest secrets together. Thanks for watching.